Welcome to Right on Track, a songwriting podcast. Thanks to Tone for tuning in. I'm Demi Michelle Schwartz, and I'm thrilled you're joining me on my songwriting journey. So kick back and relax, don't fall flat, and remember, stay right on track. Hey everyone, welcome back to Right on Track. Joining me on the show today is Jeremy Bowen. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
You are so welcome. I'm excited as well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. I just woke up, have work at 11, so just like it's perfectly slotted. No, I've been looking forward to this for so long, so I'm gonna try
Yeah.
not to talk your ear off.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. I'm so excited. Early for me too, but we got this. I'm really excited to chat with you. But before we get into all the specific things I would like to cover, I would love for you to share a little bit with the listeners about yourself and how you got started in music.
Sure. So I'm Jeremy. I'm 32 years old, and honestly, I wanted to do music my entire life. My mom, she grew up listening to, the old school R&B, like, Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Tony Braxton. So I didn't really grow up listening to like, kid music. I grew up singing "Unbreak My Heart" when I was like really small. So I've always loved like big singers like Mariah, Whitney, Celine. Um, but I wanted to be a singer ever since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I specifically remember my family left me home alone when I was like 8. This was back in the 90s when you could do that. But they left me home alone because they had to take my sister to college. And MTV had this thing where you could call in to request songs. Well, me being a kid, I didn't realize you had to pay for that. And so I kept calling and requesting. And I remember my favorite song was You Drive Me Crazy by Britney Spears. And
So
every video
good.
had a
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
318 was that code. I called so much to the point where they cut me off. And I was just having a great time. And 2 weeks later, a bill came in the mail for $50. I got in so much trouble, but that's when I think everyone realized I kind of had a little bit of an obsession with music. But no, I've wanted to do this my whole life.
That is such a funny story. Oh my God. That's so good. Oh
It's
man.
funny now, but I was in so much trouble.
Yeah, no, I feel, oh my goodness, I can imagine. So, going from having that love for music so young to now, releasing your debut single, what finally made you make that shift from just loving music to wanting to write and release your own music?
So I always wanted to do it, but growing up, I was bullied pretty bad in school. I was not a cool kid by any stretch of the imagination. I always did chorus and everything like that, but I don't know. It just kind of got into my head that it's not realistic. There's. I thought celebrities were people that were just born special. I thought they were just kind of God's favorite people, as it were. And I just kind of played it safe. I was going to be a doctor. I would have been a terrible doctor. People would have died. So glad that did not happen. But I just kind of did the thing that we do. I went to college, didn't really work out, found little jobs, customer service. We grow up, bills happen. But I had lost my job at the end of 2023 at a call center. And I was kind of devastated in the moment, but I was also laughing in the parking lot because I was like, thank God I don't have to go to that place anymore. But I was finally to a place in life where I really didn't have anything else to lose. And I remember it so vividly. I had gotten out of the shower, after a week of being out of a job and was just kind of like, okay, now what? And I'd stumbled upon this picture of myself when I was 17, when I did my first little mall talent show. And I just remember thinking, what happened to me? I had all these dreams. I was going to be a pop star. I was going to go on tour. I was going to be the one to finally make it. And yet nothing happened. And so I just kind of had that moment where it's just like, this is going to be my life for the rest of my life if I don't really get it together. So I just decided to just go all in. I didn't have anything else to lose at that point. I had lost my job. If I got bullied, oh well, people bullied me all the time anyway, so at least I can laugh in a tour bus, right? But
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
kind of what sparked it. I had nothing else to lose and I didn't want to live with any regrets, so I
Yeah.
just decided to just go full steam.
Yeah, no, that's great. And sorry about the bullying. I was also bullied in school for various reasons, but I think it's wild how people like choose the musicians and the chorus kids as the weird ones. Like, we're like objectively the coolest. Like, why would you bully us?
Right. No, exactly. Because I don't know if you're a Disney fan, but I was obsessed
Yeah.
with High School Musical, because
Oh
of
my God.
course
Yeah,
I was.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like, Sharpay did nothing wrong.
No.
If you audition for a part and you actually want the part, imagine if one day this random new girl and the guy on the basketball team who doesn't even like singing gets the lead. I would be mad
Yeah.
too. So I get it.
Yeah. Oh my God, High School Musical was the greatest. I was also a cheerleader, and it was so funny. I have this vivid memory of like when the second movie premiered on Disney Channel, like all of us like went straight from cheer practice. Everyone came over to my house and we watched the second movie on Disney Channel. It was so fun.
No, it's crazy. Because I mean, I auditioned so many times. I auditioned for the Glee project. I was always someone that was throwing out auditions, but I would get the call back and it would be like, hey, so, I know you live in Florida, but we really want to see you. Can you be on a flight to LA tomorrow? Me, 19 years old with 69 cents in my account. No, no, that's not a thing I can do.
Oh my goodness. So let's chat now about your debut single, Change My Heart. Love this, by the way. So, what was the inspiration behind this, and what was the process when you got into recording this one?
So this song is actually the first song that I liked well enough to actually do something with. After I went through the thing with my job and everything, one of my friends got me listening to Taylor Swift a lot, and I never really gave her a chance because I grew up listening to like Mariah, Whitney, Celine, Beyonce, Usher, Boys to Men, and Taylor just wasn't really my style, but I really gave her a chance and I fell in love with her music, her songwriting, especially when she was a country artist too. I went back and revisited that album, and what really stuck out to me was that, just how honest and authentic her songs were. And I realized that I had a lot of things that I wanted to say, and I'm somebody that's very dramatic. So um, with Change My Heart, it was just kind of me processing everything that I had gone through. I had lost my job, my license had gotten suspended, my car insurance was canceled, my phone was off, my internet was off. I was in a really awful situation. And I had gone from job to job to job and school to school to school so many times. It's just kind of being, lost in my 20s, except now I was in my 30s. And I had originally written Changing My Heart to be this kind of like, country love ballad and stuff. But my life was so chaotic right now at that moment. And I was like, if this song actually takes off, what if I hate this song in 10 years from now? What if I go through like this awful breakup and hate this song 10 years from now? And then I remember was just saying to myself, who actually deserves a song? The Lord. The Lord is the only one who deserves a song. And so I changed one lyric to be like, gotta know that I need you to change my heart. And I instantly fell in love with it. But as I was writing it, I just kind of started pouring my heart out to God in a real prayer, just kind of going, a lot of my problems were my fault, even if I didn't want to admit it. I did let bullying kind of kill my self esteem and kill my drive. I did fall into depression. I didn't make the most of the opportunities that were given to me. And so, while I was definitely dealt a rough hand in life, there was also a kind of accountability that I had to take where I just had to be like, look, no, like, yes, things happened to me. Yes, some people did me wrong. Yes, I had a rough start, but some of this is my fault, and I need to change how I approach things. I need to change myself. I made a mess of my own life. I can't blame my mom for that. I can't blame my dad for that. I can't blame my job for that. It's me. So, Lord, I need you to kind of take control and just drive. And Jesus Take the Wheel is one of my favorite songs, period.
Oh
And
my
it
god, I
was,
love that song by Carrie.
yeah. And so
Yes.
when I was writing it, I kind of had that kind of vibe in mind where I was just like, if this could kind of be my take on, my version of Jesus Take the Wheel, where it's like, hey, I need you to fix me, then that's just how it was born.
Yeah, I love that. So how was the recording like for this one?
So it's funny. I actually had to record it twice. The first version, I jokingly call it the humble and meek version because I was so nervous. Like, I'd been bullied for my voice my whole life. I had given up on music so many times. Um, and I went to record it at a studio. I remember it was like 12 o'clock. I had just gotten at work. It was midnight. And I'm rushing to this little studio. And this guy kind of walks out with an iPhone. And I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm so nervous. And I can tell he's a pro. He does this all the time. And I'm just kind of like, take it all away, all my tears and my pain. And I send it to my producer. And he's like, very politely, I should say. And he just kind of goes, yeah, can we just get like a stronger vocal track? And I hear it back and I take it to another producer and he tells me straight up, yo, you have a powerful message. You got to really go for it. And I'm thinking to myself, really? But I just kind of said a prayer and just went for it and just said, you know what, if this sounds bad, it sounds bad. If this is the worst song ever, it's the worst song ever. I kind of had to get out of my own head and stop caring about what people were going to say and if they were going to bully me again and just kind of do it. And that's the version we heard.
Yeah, no, that's really relatable. Like when I was in school and chorus and stuff, like I auditioned for the solos, never got any, and I knew I wasn't like the best singer growing up, and I started taking voice lessons. I was a music major in college and had like vocal training and stuff, so got like more training with all of that. But like when I started recording just from like things people have said to me when I was younger, like I literally hated how I sounded through the headphones. When I heard demos back, I hated them. And it took me a really long time to like get to the point of not hating my voice and actually like being proud of the voice I was given. And so
Hmm.
it took me a really long time to get there too. And just looking back at like my debut single and debut album to the new EP I'm working on right now, like span of over 5 years now, just the vocal delivery in the earlier songs to now, it's my same voice, but it's a drastic difference because of the confidence. So totally relate to listening to something being like, didn't give it your all, you were doubting yourself, but then just putting everything you have into it.
Thank you. And I know that's awesome that because I thought it was just kind of a me thing because everybody's always like, you gotta fake it till you make it. You gotta go out there and own the thing. And a big part of my insecurity, I will say, is no shade to anyone at all, is that I was kind of very self-aware. Like I stopped doing music because I kind of had the mindset of, I'm over 30 and it's so much harder to do pop music when you're a certain age because people want the young artists, they want the TikTok generation, they want that young energy. And I kind of convinced myself no one wanted to hear what I had to say, they're not checking for me anyways. But I just what helped me really get out of my own head during that process is just kind of silencing all the noise and just focusing on the fact that, if this was my song, if this was the only song that I ever got done for the rest of my life, I wanted to make sure that I was proud of it. And even now, I listen to it back and I think to myself, it could have a stronger beginning, or do I really love the first verse? There's always things to nitpick, but I kind of just had to say, look, it is what it is. I got to let this go and let it fly free.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing as well. I think once we have our songs recorded and released, we're always nitpicking things. I think that's just natural. And also, too, I wanted to ask how, like definitely your faith is woven into this song very clearly. Is that something that you would like to continue to explore in your songs moving forward?
Oh, absolutely. I'm nothing without Jesus. When I was going through everything that I was going through last year, I remember this so vividly. No place would hire me at all. I had no car I could legally drive. My license was suspended. I had no phone, so no one could even call me for an interview. And I got hired at this little speakeasy in town, and it was 45 minutes from where I lived. So I literally had to call my best friend and my boyfriend to come and give me rides to work. And the job itself was only 2 days a week. So imagine, I had one job. It was 2 days a week, and it was 45 minutes on the other side of town. And I was relying on the kindness of people in my life to come drive me there at 5:30, and then come pick me up at midnight, and then take me all the way back home. And then as soon as I got paid, it was only like $200, $300, and it was that way for months. So literally, I had no food in my fridge some days. I had nothing, but somehow I would always have what I need. Either a stranger would send me some money, either my mom or my sister would come through, someone would work with me, something would happen. The, it was really nothing but God that got me through that season of just from the end of August all the way until May. I had nothing. And even after that, I put all of my money into getting Change My Heart produced. Every single paycheck that I have had for the past year has gone to either that song or bills. So I'm really just out here living on faith as my currency, and yet I still have a roof. I still have food. I still have everything. I even have a collection of eviction notices from last year in my safe. Every single month, I would have that notice on my door, and I decided to start saving them. But I definitely do want to keep making songs about God because there's so much on the radio now that not going to criticize anyone or anything, but I think we just have to be intentional about what we're putting out there. And I want to make songs that I'm proud of, And I think we definitely are going in a direction where we're pushing the envelope further and further and further as in regards to what's okay to play on the radio and what children might hear. And I never want to be in a situation where someone has to turn the station off because my song comes on and their kids are in the car. I want to make music that my family can listen to.
So much power in everything you said and the vulnerability as well. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. And I think this just comes back to the point that you mentioned before with Taylor, one of my favorite artists and inspirations as well, with her honesty and authenticity. I think that's where it is. And I love being an independent artist because I don't have labels trying to tell me what I can and can't write about or anything like that. And I think that the best thing that we can do as songwriters is to share our stories authentically. And so I think you're definitely doing that. And that's what's going to make you stand apart from everyone else. Your journey is your journey, and no one else in the world is exactly like you. And so the songs that you write are genuine and personal to you. And I think that's really important to continue holding on to the authenticity.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're
No, that
welcome.
means a lot. It's nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
because you kind of ask yourself, how much do I share? How much is too much? Do I really want to go there? Yeah, how are people going to receive it? But I just kind of had to again go back to that place where it's like, look, if I'm doing this, then I'm doing it. I can't have one foot in the door and one foot out. And as a guy, I think that's kind of where the ladies are definitely shining in the industry, is that women, I think, are more willing to be vulnerable than men are, because I think with men we feel like we kind of have to put on this front, or we don't really want to let people in, we don't want to come off as weak or whiny or be made fun of. And I really can't think of a lot of male artists that are willing to just get really real and really raw and really personal the way people like, Taylor does, or, Mariah Carey does in some of her songs. And I'm kind of trying to, be like, hey, it's all right. You can do it too. You can let us in. You can give us something real. Tell us about something true to you.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really important point as well. And I think the thing, and this ties into something you were mentioning earlier about, being in your 30s and wondering, is it too late? Because do people really want the 20-year-olds or blah, blah, blah? But I think the nice thing about music is it has no limitations when it comes to age or gender or whatever. And so I think music should be just an expression of humanity and our emotions and our experiences. And so I definitely think you have a great point in recognizing that, female artists, male artists, there's a little difference in the way that people perceive their music and what they're writing about. But I don't think there should be. I think people should be able to write and release the music they want to without fear of judgment.
Yeah, absolutely. Music is just it's expression, it's to fulfill a need. Even just a good fun party song is meant to fulfill a purpose, to distract you from something, or maybe to help you focus on something, or just I don't know. Every single song has a specific need that it wants to meet, and it's also kind of something that I was thinking about as well when I was younger. Most of my favorite artists were female artists, and I really asked myself, why is that? And I found that it was so much more difficult for me to relate to like the male entertainers. Only not to say that they didn't have incredible voices and weren't incredible performers, but I kind of noticed that a lot of them weren't really singing about anything substantial, like I'm not going to name names, but there was an artist I used to love, because he had a great voice. I loved his energy, but all of his albums started to sound exactly the same. And I just remember thinking, he just kind of made the same album three times. But there's not a single Taylor Swift album that sounds the same. There's not a single Mariah album or Beyonce album or Ariana Grande album that sound the same. And I think it's just because men feel like we have to be a certain kind of way in order for people to really accept us and with what we think people want from us. And there's no rules when it comes to music, so I decided I'm not going to play by any either.
Yeah. No, that's really great you mentioned that, and the thing of albums sounding the same again and again and again, I mean, I think that just comes back again to if an artist is releasing authentic music, that shouldn't be the case because when I released my debut album in 2021, I was in a completely different place than I was last year when I released my sophomore album and I had an EP in between and singles in between, and I'm a different person. I'm growing and changing as a person. I'm having different experiences, and there's different topics that I'm feeling compelled to write about. And if you stay authentic to yourself, you shouldn't have to worry about are all my songs going to sound the same because as you change as a person, your music is going to evolve as well.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that's something I was kind of worried about in a way because I wrote Change My Heart. It wasn't even intended to be a country song at first. But when I found my producer, Tyler Spicer, I saw his ad on Instagram. I remember he had this energy, this feel to it where it was like this kind of eclectic vibe to it where it was like country, but it was pop, it was upbeat, and it really just gave me that it was a sound where it was like I wasn't sure what I wanted this song to sound like. I would just know it when I heard it. And when I first got the instrumental back, I remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is so much more slower than I wanted it to be, but people are going to think it's boring." But I sat with it and I just kind of let it marinate and I was like, "You know what? No, this is actually perfect." Um, and with me, I definitely want to I don't want to be put in like a box as far as a specific sound goes, but I think having an iconic sound is important just so long as there's versatility, within that sound. Like I
Yeah.
will always know a Taylor Swift song when it comes on,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
matter
yeah,
what.
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm multi-genre for sure, and I got criticized for that at the beginning because I started very contemporary pop. Then I was doing like country stuff, and I like have some other multi-genre elements in my music. And I released my EP. It is what it is, which is multi-genre. And I got like such criticism of people saying, "Oh, like you're all over the place and blah blah blah." But I'm like, no, literally, like it's all me. So like if you listen to the songwriting, like if I would sing all of those songs like stripped back with just my acoustic guitar, like it sound perfectly fine. Like no like drastic differences because it's me and my songwriting. It's just the way it was produced. And that EP won an Album of the Year award. And so to all the people who were bullying me about being multi-genre, keep talking.
Look, first of all,
Thank
congratulations,
you.
because like success really is the best revenge, honestly, and I cannot even lie, I I am so excited to keep doing music. I have a second song coming out. I don't know when because I haven't recorded it yet, but it's called Jesus is Alive,
Oh,
and it's
love it.
definitely thank you. It's definitely more of an upbeat, more of a hype kind of song, more of an anthem. Um, but that was definitely a fear I had too. Oh, is Change My Heart going to be a fluke? If people like it, is it going to be like the one hit wonder kind of thing, or if people don't like it, you know? And these are things that I had thought about kind of in passing before, but I think once you get to the stage where you're actually doing it and putting it out there, we all have that kind of anxiety of, okay, well, how am I going to follow this up? Do people want more of the same? Do they want something different? Should I even care about what they want? What do I want to do? So it's forced me to really be very honest with myself and what I want to put out into the world intentionally. And that's really what I want. I really want people to connect with my songs and enjoy them, and to feel like they get whatever they need from listening to it, whether it's to think, whether it's to pray, whether it's to dance, whether it's to cry, whether it's something to study to or put on to the car, just whatever they need. I hope they get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's perfect. So, just to wrap up, since you have released your debut single, I'm sure you've learned lessons along the way. So, what advice would you share with any songwriters listening?
So, the best advice I can give to songwriters is don't go around fishing for opinions from people, because everyone, and I mean everyone, is going to have something to say about what you are trying to do. And a lot of times we can get so caught up in trying to sound like our favorite artist or sound like what's currently on the radio, because we want it to be popular. Like, let's all just be so honest with ourselves. When we can say to the end of the day, I don't care if anyone listens to this, we do care. That's why we're writing it. We want people to hear it. We want people to listen to it. We want it to be appreciated. When you paint a picture, you don't just cover it up and put it in the closet. You want people to see it. And when you're writing your songs, you have to believe so fiercely in your vision for that song that even if 10 people come back and say, I hated that song, you have to be able to say, okay, well, I like it and I'm happy with it. Because at the end of the day, that song is a part of you. And just like you are not going to be for every single person on this earth, your music isn't going to be from every single person on this earth either. So stop fishing for opinions and approval, and just let the song be whatever it is, and believe in it so fiercely that it doesn't even matter if 10 people say they hate it. That one person that comes back and says, I love this song, that's what's really gonna feel the best.
Yeah, perfect. Fabulous, fabulous advice. Great wisdom. It was a delight having you on the show. Can you please share with everybody where they can connect with you online and check out your song?
Thank you. So I'm on Spotify, Jeremy Bowen, Change My Heart. I'm also on Apple Music. My internet handles are all the same. I am wonderfully uncreative. It's the THEJJ Bowen, Bowen, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on YouTube. I, I like social media. I share a lot of scripture and just things that are on my mind. So yeah, definitely give me a follow. I love making new friends. I will talk to anyone about anything. So you've been warned.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun and such a delight.
No, thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. And listeners, that is a wrap on this chat with Jeremy Bowen. And of course, until next time,
Stay
stay
right
right
on
on
track.
track.